I was looking at my windows while I sitting right in windows right in front of me, I guess. But I was looking at the windows there today, and I got to thinking about my wood stove and the exhaust gas is going up through my stove pipe when I have a fire going on. Well, right now the temperature is probably 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit it would be. But it's going down tonight. It's going down to minus 14 or something. When it says minus 14, that usually means it'll be minus 20. At least around here. So, what I've come up with is I'm going to put a hole in my wall. I'm going to run a PVC pipe through the wall. I'm going to have a 90. I was just sort of did up a little diagram here so I'll know what I'll need. I'm going to have to find out the size of the valve first and then look at 90s, PVC 90s, because I can always size the pipe. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to find a PVC valve. 90s may not be that hard to find. It just depends on price and all that stuff. But I could always reduce down into a valve, I guess. But anyhow, I want to explain my logic here. When you have a wood stove and you're burning wood, there's exhaust gases going up through your stovepipe. And depending on how hard you're running your wood stove, you know, when you first turn it on, you're getting the fire going and stuff. There's a fair amount of air, exhaust fumes going up through your stovepipe and going outside of your house. So logic says whatever goes out has to come in. So obviously, if it's going out, it has to be coming in from somewhere, because your house is a closed unit. So it has to be coming in from somewhere. So I'll just kind of read this off real quickly. This is kind of my explanation here. With the wood stove running, the flue gas goes up through the stovepipe and creates a negative pressure. So it creates a negative pressure in the house. So this negative pressure pulls air from any opening around the house. So around windows, doors, your exhaust fan, your bathroom, your exhaust fan over your stove, from your attic. If there's, if that's not sealed off completely, obviously most attic, you have a hatch or something that you can get into. And what I've noticed here is my attic, I have it in the in that closet, and my feet are usually cold. But yet I go different places of the house and I notice it's not as cold. And I think what's going on, I think when the stove's going, it's pulling cold air from the attic and it's just dropping, and I can feel it on my feet. So by putting in a cold air intake with a valve, I can control the input air coming into the house. So that's a quick explanation. I always do different. When I do writing in my book here, there's all kinds of, Talking about the neutron and stuff, and the C core. But I'm looking at different stuff. I'm looking at Otis Carr's amusement UFO. Okay, so the big thing here is if I have a valve, when I start the fire and the fire is running quite warm, I have the damper, I guess you would call it, for your stovepipe opened up quite a bit, and I have the air intake opened up quite a bit to allow air in and allow air to escape. So now if I'm going to be doing that, I'll probably have the valve open quite a ways, maybe even full. We'll just see. But where I'm going to have it beside the wood stove, I'm hoping this is going to be sort of like a heat exchanger, where as the air comes in, maybe the radiant heat from the wood stove will semi-warm the air coming in, so it's not as cold coming out the pipe at minus 14 or something, which really wouldn't be that big of a deal. Where it's PVC pipe, I'm going to have to look at where the inlets are on the stove pipe, or a stove, the wood stove, and if I can route it so that it's going to be somewhere close. There's vents on the side, and I know that hot air comes out the vents on the side, but I don't know exactly where it's pulled, where the air is pulled into the stove, and I'm going to have to try to figure out where the inlet air goes in. But I don't want to make this too long. It's really only about a wood stove or even a furnace. You know, people don't even think about this. If you have an oil furnace, you are creating negative pressure. And it just kind of came to me today that, if air's going out, it's creating negative pressure in the house. So we have to put something in that's going to be relatively close to the source of heat that is consuming that air. So the best way to mitigate negative pressure in your house would be to let air in. So if you in a perfect world, if you let as much air in as you're pulling out, there will be no negative pressure. So this is 9 minutes. It's too long as it is. Everybody have a great day. Cheers.